What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. This time we are going to be doing another transfer update. We've not really had a chance to do much since the transfer window closed, so we've had little bits of news, little bits cropping up, and also some finalisations from some deadline day deals that I said I'd clear up. So it's going to be cleared up in this video, so I'm going to crack on with the video. And we've got some in, so we're going to talk about that. Now, the Sun Sport, they have been reporting Manchester City in the summer want to make an £80 million double swoop for homegrown players Ben Chilwell and Wan-Bissaka of Crystal Palace, looking for new, fresh left-back and right-backs. Now, I don't really see City being in for Wan-Bissaka just yet, in my opinion. I think that we might go with Kyle Walker, who seems to be doing okay as of late. We might go with Danilo, has been his backup. I certainly think we'll be in for a left-back in the summer. Wouldn't surprise me one bit if that person was Ben Chilwell. I don't see Danilo leaving. I don't see Walker leaving. I don't see Mendy leaving. And if I'm honest, I don't see Delph leaving in the next season either, and so I reckon Manchester City will end up signing just one of them positions, and I reckon it will be a left back. City might well be growing frustrated at the lack of left backs. All depends on how we do from now until the end of the season. We're going for a lot of rotation with Mendy being out. Obviously, we've seen Laporte play there. We saw Zinchenko play there. We've seen Fabian Delph play there before Christmas too. And so we've got some options there that might surpass until the end of the season. For the summer, though, I think we'll be looking at a new left-back, and I think that'll be high up on the list. And I certainly think Ben Chilwell will be very high up on that left-back list. If we do go for a right-back, though, wouldn't surprise me if we did go in for Wan-Bissaka. He's had a very good season for Crystal Palace. Moving on, though, we're going to talk about Gavin Bazunu, Manchester City, the Irish young player, the goalkeeper. He signed for Manchester City, and he was meant to come over in July. He plays for Shamrock Rovers. Well, Manchester City, they wanted to put the deal in place to bring him over now, but Manchester City had to prove that they could put in place for him to complete his leaving certificates, which is like in America, your high school graduation certificates or your GCSE certificates, basically completing school and his education. Manchester City have now put that in place for him to complete that. He has signed for Manchester City and has even made his debut in the Manchester City under-18s team, the 16-year-old goalkeeper. They ended up drawing 2-2 at home, I think it was, against Stoke under-18s team. So he's now a Manchester City player, so we'll keep an eye on his development over the coming seasons too. And nice to have you on board, Gavin. Good luck with your career at Manchester City. We're going to move on again, and we're going to be speaking this time about Morten Spencer. You might not know who that is. Nor do I, but I've done some research. Now, Alan Nixon on Twitter, he said that Manchester City are set to sign the 14-year-old attacking midfielder, or left winger, the attacker basically, from Sunderland. Wow, we're starting them young, but Alan Nixon, I'm not too sure if it's reliable or not. I couldn't imagine people just making up something like this with a player that, you know, no one's going to know who he is. But 14-year-old that could well slot into Manchester City's under-16 side, meant to be a promising prospect. Plus, English, homegrown, and if he does end up being very successful over the next 5 or 6 years, he could well be a Manchester City, not just homegrown player, but a player produced by the Youth Academy too, obviously. So yeah, welcome on board if he does end up signing for Manchester City. I've heard rumours of around £200,000 compensation agreed for him. That's a lot of money for a 14-year-old. Now, next up, we're going to be speaking about Lyon young midfielder Houssem Aouar. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. I have real difficulty pronouncing his name. But Samuel Umtiti, he's been speaking about, not himself, but Houssem Aouar. Now, the young Lyon central midfielder, been linked with Manchester City along with Tanguy Ndombele, his other midfield partner. Well, Umtiti's been speaking about him on Facebook Live. Said something quite interesting while speaking about his attributes, saying that he's a very skillful, great passer and a good player. He isn't surprised that Pep Guardiola is after him. Now, it's very surprising. It's our first confirmation, actually, that there is solid interest there from Manchester City. That isn't press talk. Football players are actually talking about Aouar and actually being linked with Manchester City. And, of course, Pep being mentioned in that as well. So he might well be Manchester City's answer to that defensive midfielder. Remember, we're talking to him, doing the whole list on a load of players that Manchester City could go after. Well, is either one. Is Houssem Aouar going to be the Manchester City player that we're going to go after? We will watch this space. We're going to move on and go to the outs, and we're going to talk about Ryan Corrigan. He has officially joined Stoke City now. I said there was some confusion as to whether it's been confirmed or not. Stoke's officially confirmed that, and it is a permanent deal. He won't go into Stoke's first team, though. He's going to join their academy, obviously. A left-back, I said Stoke had some concerns over left-back. They didn't I don't think they signed a left back in the January transfer window, even though they were after one and they weren't sure if he were going to be Stoke's left back option that they were going to go for or not. Well, it seems not, or at least not yet. And last but not least in the news, we're going to be talking about Ilkay Gundogan. Now, the Sun's been reporting Manchester City have opened up talks to extend his contract. Done that with Bernardo Silva too, by the way. Both of whom have near enough said the same thing. The contracts are expiring in the next 2 or 3 seasons, so Gundogan's goes in 2020. He's unsure if he wants to renew or whether he wants to return back to Germany and see out his playing career back home. Obviously, he's a former Borussia Dortmund player and he's been linked with them. He's obviously a former employer. Will he end up going back there? Remains to be seen. I don't think that he will. I think Manchester City are trying to put the stepping stones there for him to extend his contract. He's obviously getting quite a few minutes this season, and all in all, he's had an impressive season in my opinion, and so Manchester City are looking to tie down Ilkay Gundogan, and I know that they're trying to do the same with Bernardo Silva. He's had interest from Real Madrid, obviously, that we've mentioned before. Bernardo Silva has said he's still got 3 seasons left on his contract, and therefore doesn't really want to think about his contract just yet. He'd rather let it get down to maybe 2 years or 18 months, maybe even a year, before thinking about signing a new deal with Manchester City to assess his options. I presume, rather than them trying to leave Manchester City, I assume that's a bit of press talk. I think that might be advice from their agents. They know that over time they're going to get to their peak and they're going to improve over the coming seasons, and if they do that, they know then they can demand more money from Manchester City and they'll be able to earn more. Now, if Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan carry on for the next 12 months or so, I imagine they'll be some of the biggest earners at Manchester City, because like I said, they've been very impressive as of late this season with us, and so duly they should be rewarded for that. So fingers crossed we'll be able to tie them down. I think we're still waiting on Sane with a contract too. So we'll keep our eyes peeled over that. Don't expect many transfer updates from now until the summer. We'll have them going out every now and then. There won't be like every few days or every week. They'll probably be every 2 or 3 weeks, because I'm not expecting it to be lots of news. We've had lots of news coming up over the last couple of weeks. Mainly that's because the window's just closed, and so there's still fresh transfer talk there, but it'll soon die down until we get to about May time. Then it'll start springing up again, and when that does, we'll have more videos out. So make sure that if you are interested in Manchester City transfer news, you subscribe, press the red button, press the bell to be notified when I've uploaded. I'll keep you in the loop with all things Manchester City transfer news. Between now and then though, we've got plenty of Manchester City and football videos coming out, so make sure if you are interested you stay tuned for that one. Leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. My social media links, Twitter and Instagram, are in the description below if you want to go and follow me on that. That'd be ace. You can go check me out on there, and I'll see you all again for the next video. So it's been JSGC. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.